Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. Unfortunately, tonight we have another hack from a project called Nomad Bridge. What is Nomad Bridge? And what happened exactly? 190 million hacked. We seem to have hundreds of millions of hacked each and every week now. What is going on? Also, Ethereum flips Bitcoin. There's one interesting thing that's happening in the options market right now that may indicate bullish things for Ethereum. So let's discuss that and discuss other pieces of news. So smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media, CryptosRUs.com for all the latest guides. And, of course, make sure you follow the brand new channels, the clips and reacts, and I Am George channel. A lot of content for you guys. So let's get started. Welcome, 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 guys. Hopefully you guys are hanging in there. So tonight, unfortunately, we have another project hacked. It seems like just last week or a few weeks ago, we had Harmony and their bridge hacked for $100 million. Right now, 200 million, almost 190. So unfortunately, we have another project. It's about interoperability. In fact, they were valued quite high. Just 4 months ago, they were valued at 225 million, and they're backed by some of the biggest VC firms in crypto, right? So they were going to come out with a messaging app, a cross-chain messaging app, and also a bridge, which brings cross-chain communication and interoperability, right? So if you look at, I'm just looking at Nomad Day support right now, Avalanche, Ethereum, Moonbeam, EVM OS, and Milko Meta. I never heard of that one. So these 5 right now, right? And unfortunately, they were just hacked. People started noticing that through their wallets, they were just getting drained. So unfortunately, that's what happened. The last big hack that we had with Harmony turns out to be North Korean hackers, right? And the last Ronin Bridge hack also turned out to be North Korean hackers. So this time around, is it North Korean hackers? Possibly, right? But again, there just seems to be too many hacks. Now, in the case of Ronin hack, it seems like the team Axie, right? They had enough to cover, though they haven't really started paying out yet. They will soon, I believe. Harmony does not seem like they have 100 million to give out, right? So they're coming up with a proposal. So I don't know if Nomad can survive this, especially they've taken so much VC money, right? So I don't know. Those VCs are just done. I don't know what they're going to do. Unfortunately, hopefully none of you guys have your money within this bridge. Me, myself, I had no exposure to it, never heard of it, never even used it, right? But 190 million is 190 million. So there's probably a lot of people out there that have used it and possibly have their money in the project, right? So unfortunately, another hack has happened. It's just a really bad time. Not only hacks are just bad overall, right? Overall, it's just not good. But right now, when things are weak, it's just compounding. It's adding to the fear level, right? We just got out of extreme fear. We're in the fear zone, right? Let's hope we don't get back to the extreme fear because of what's happening right now. So that is why I've been telling you guys to safeguard your own crypto. Something like Nomad is not even a CeFi project. It's a DeFi project, right? So we know everything that's happened with CeFi projects like Voyager and Celsius. But now we're starting to see it with DeFi projects as well, right? There's vulnerabilities that gets unchecked. Security protocol, the audits may not be that strong. So right now it's definitely important to be safeguarding your own crypto. I've been telling you guys that for a while. So unfortunately, that has happened. We suffered another attack. And we'll see. I'm sure details will come out tomorrow and later this week, whether or not it was North Koreans or maybe it was someone else. Hopefully it's white hat hackers and they'll return the funds. Hopefully. What else is there? The SEC charges fraudsters in a 300 million crypto pyramid scheme. I'm like, what else is there? 300 million? So it's this company called Forsage. Again, I've never heard of this. They were raising funds illicitly for over 2 years. SEC is going after them. I don't know if you guys have heard of this project or participated in this project, right? 300 million, that's quite a lot. Yeah, basically founders based in Russia, Republic of Georgia, Indonesia, a website that allowed millions of retail investors to transact via smart contracts using Ethereum, Tron, Binance, blockchains. And they recruited people to join their scheme. Yeah, so basically not a good thing. So the SEC is still doing some good work, right? Not just attacking legitimate projects and exchanges. They are still going after the fraudsters in the space. But I wish they would leave some of the good ones alone. But in this case, this is probably a good thing. Being this project is not a good one. All right, so I want to lead off with those things. Now, as for Bitcoin, I know Bitcoin came down a little bit, 32,000 or not 32,000, 23,000 U.S. markets down a little bit. Bitcoin taking a slight breather, right? That is okay because all the long-term models, metrics, accumulation, holders, right? All these things. Fundamentals are still going up. So look at this. Bitcoin holders accumulate 64 billion in BTC last 12 months. 64 billion. That's not a small number. That's a fantastic thing, right? And we have other fantastic things, of course, going on. The UK is proposing a new form of property for Bitcoin. So we're starting to see this a lot. A lot of you guys have asked me, well, this whole thing about securities, right? Are governments going to form some kind of new category for crypto? Well, it's starting to seem like that's starting to happen. I think these regulators and these countries are basically starting to realize, well, you got these digital currencies that don't really fit into anything. So we may have to come out with a new type of category to regulate them, right? So that's what's starting to happen right now. And I do think this is necessary, but it's probably going to carry on for a really long time. Keep in mind, Bitcoin is not controlled by any one country. It's non-sovereign, right? So that means every country that is supporting Bitcoin and Bitcoin transactions and Bitcoin wallets and Bitcoin exchanges, they're going to come out with their own set of rules. One day, all these rules will align. But for now, every country is going to have their own thing, right? And I guess we'll see what happens with all these. But I think overall, these regulations could be good as long as they don't go overboard, right? So there's that. And then, of course, there's other things. Bitcoin and its 200 weekly moving average. Will it follow 200 weekly moving average just like the previous bottoms? We already dipped below slightly. We're coming above. Are we following it for a little bit just like before? Quite possibly. And then you look at, below, right? You look at how oversold it is. Same level as previous bottoms in 2020, 2018, 2015, right? So there's still a lot of stuff going on that compares our current recovery to previous recoveries from previous bottoms. And then, of course, holders, right? I mentioned about holders. Here's another one. The amount of BTC hodled within the last 20, basically, let me take that back. Let me restart. Amount of hodled or lost coins just reached 20-month high. So, of course, this is still going up and up and up and up and up. And we're back to basically the same level as 2020. So think about that. So the best way for newcomers to think about it is you got in a time machine and now you went back to 2020 and you basically started over. That's pretty darn good. That means all of the gains that you may have missed, right? Now you get in lower on the ground floor and you're waiting for those gains to come back. Well, that's one way to think about it, right? But the number of hodl people, the number of addresses, right? Hodl coins, all these are going up. So Bitcoin is still moving definitely in the right direction, right? All right. Now, what else is there? Ether. I saw this. Is Ethereum going to flip Bitcoin? Some people have asked this before, right? I don't think anytime soon. But what's interesting is it did in the options market. Okay, so according to this, Deribit, which is the biggest options exchange, now has 5.7 billion in puts and calls for Ethereum and only 4.3 billion for Bitcoin. So what does that mean? Ethereum volume, total volume, right, for options is way higher than now Bitcoin. There's definitely a lot more traders that are trying to trade Ethereum at this point in time. And it makes sense. During good times, Ethereum does move faster, but also Ethereum has a big event coming up, Ethereum 2.0. And one of the big things that's coming with Ethereum 2.0 is the ETH issuance will drop by 90%. That's significant. Even though ETH 2.0 moves to proof of stake, it doesn't solve scalability yet, but it does drop the issuance by 90% going forward, and many people think that's a very, very bullish thing. So that could possibly explain why options volume for Ethereum is much, much higher. Overall, this could be seen as a very bullish thing for Ethereum since so many people are betting that Ethereum is going to do well after the merge, which is coming in September, right? Very, very, very interesting. Now, of course, Ethereum has other things going on. Coinbase Prime just added Ethereum staking for institutional clients. So if you are a large whale, you got a ton of ETH in Coinbase Prime, which is their institutional division. You can now stake directly from them, right? Most likely they're going to just throw into the beacon chain, and that's what they're doing and passing it on to you. But that way you don't have to worry about custody service, right? Stuff like that. So other great things are happening with Ethereum as well right now. But it's not just Ethereum. Ripple, a lot of you guys are XRP Army. Ripple does have other things going on right now as well. Of course, they have this big SEC lawsuit, which I think they're in a very good position of winning right now due to some of the latest battles. But there's other things going on. For example, Colombia is putting land and tracking all the land on the XRP ledger. So it's not just used for remittance services. This is another use case. So that's pretty good. Also, according to Ripple's own quarterly results, because Ripple does report somehow, even though they're not publicly traded, but they still talk about it. They're very transparent. Their sales increased by 50% in Q2. And that's because they've onboarded a few new clients. For example, this company in Lithuania that is also using XRP Ledger for remittances. So things like this are positive, although keep in mind, Ripple does sell XRP to these companies to use for remittance service. But recently, Jed McCaleb stopped selling because he has no more to sell. And this case with the SEC could be very good. So there are many good things about Ripple going on as well. And finally, as for Polygon, Polygon has become very, very strong as of late. They had a big dip earlier this year. Now they're coming back strong. There's a lot of things happening right now. There's a sharp increase in developer activity. Makes sense. There's a ton of dApps coming aboard to Matic, right? But that's not all. There's a lot of NFT projects coming to the space, including the band Muse. They're going to release their next album on NFT platform Serenade on Polygon, right? But it's not just them. You know, OpenSea also partly uses Polygon. DraftKings NFT marketplace uses Polygon. There's so many NFT platforms on Polygon, and there's a lot of good stuff about Polygon as well. So it does not surprise me that, yeah, their developer activity is sky high. All right. That is pretty much it. Overall, if you're looking at CMC, market cap stays the same, 1.07 trillion, which is the same as this morning. If you look at it versus last day, only down about 1.35%. So today is definitely not a day to be panicking, okay? Even though Bitcoin came down a little bit, Ethereum did come down a little bit, right? But overall market is only down 1% versus yesterday. The market is holding strong, wants to move, and I believe that August could be a really good month. Oh, by the way, looking at this, you see this Tiffany and Company thing? I did come out with a reaction video on my other channel, George Reacts, about that NFT from Tiffany and Company. Make sure you check it out, and I do have another video coming up. I think I'm going to release it after this stream about Will Smith's apology. And that's a good one. You don't want to miss that one. I have some interesting thoughts based on that apology video he came out with recently. So just want to throw that out there. All right, let's do some Q&A. Cal, talk about ITrustCapital. People can't access their accounts. I don't know much about it. I haven't heard about it. So I'll reach out to my guys and see what's happening. But yeah, I haven't heard about it. Talk about the Nomad Bridge hack. I did Lambo. Scroll to the beginning. That's the first thing I led with this video. I hope George mentions AMP. Malvin, what do you want me to say about it? I mean, Binance US says they're going to delist AMP. That's the only thing that was said. I don't know why. They didn't give any reason. I guess just low trading activity. Sometimes they just delist. Some exchanges just delist because there's not enough traders. There's not enough liquidity, right? That's the only thing I got out of it, unless you got some more news on why. Let's see. I don't need to support or to positive, or wait. I don't need to support or to positive chart metrics. I just need to see a real rally. Okay. Well, don't we all? You're stating the obvious, my friend. Geostone, thank you. Yeah, I didn't scroll up. I just decided to just read the chat real quick. Put on the sexy lights. No, that is reserved for my new studio, which I did actually create a video. Some of you guys were interested, so I actually put that on my other channel. I am George. I put out a new studio, and everything that's within the studio you'll see going forward on React's channel. I'm not sure if I'm going to start live streaming from there yet. I kind of like my setup right now for live streaming and doing recorded videos with that studio, but, you know, we'll see. Maybe that changes. Samurai, I actually don't know how many, but the more you have, I think the better it is for your chances. Does ETH automatically switch to 2.0 post-merge if you hold on your ledger, or do you have to send it somewhere? No, you don't have to. Ledger most likely will support the new network, and you know, I saw it before with some of the previous forks like SegWit, or upgrades, I should say, for Bitcoin. You know, they made it work. And with ETH 2.0, basically, I don't think you have to do anything. I'm sure Ledger will say something if you need to do anything, but most likely you don't. Johnny, he says, long time no see. Really? I didn't like to see you last week, man. But I appreciate you staying on top of my videos here. Thank you. I think I really do like my new setup, so hopefully you guys do too. And I'm excited about my other Reacts channel. Hopefully I could grow that pretty well. Will you be doing meetups? Maybe. I tried not to do too many meetups. If I meet people on the go while I'm on vacation, great. I do want to plan a big conference, although right now it's not the best time, so waiting for things to get better. Yeah. Let's see, what else? Layer 2, yeah, I am too. Unless it's not gonna be in Vegas. Vegas hotels are, they have a lot of requirements. I don't actually quite like that, but maybe. All participants will get an I Am George shirt. Interesting thought experiment you brought up with the class system inside the Lion City. You know it's going to happen, right? Whenever you have a city like that, there's going to be classification. There's going to be division. Certain parts of the city will be more desirable than others, right? So, yeah, I think most people are not talking about it. Most people are just disgusted by it, first of all, the Lion City, in case you guys didn't watch that. But, I don't know. Supposedly, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia already is building it. This is not experimental. They're actually going to build this. So we'll see what happens when they actually finish. Cal, thank you. Andrew, thank you. Let's see. Got sucked into AMP back during Amazon rumors. I always thought AMP had good potential because they were hooked up with Flexa, and Flexa had a lot of major brands hooked up. But I knew when supposedly Amazon was going to adopt them because Flexa got adopted or embraced by Whole Foods, and then people spread the rumor, well, if Whole Foods accepts Flexa, then Amazon must accept Flexa and AMP. I never really put much into that, but a lot of people did. But we'll see. I mean, AMP being listed from one exchange does not mean it's a death sentence for them, right? But right now, obviously, people are fearful. The market has not fully recovered, so I can see why some people are panicking over it. Do I Am George Con in Nashville? I don't know, man. Nashville doesn't seem like a very... I take that back. I was going to say it's not as glamorous, exciting as Vegas, but maybe. I guess it depends on who you ask. Should I sell my alts at a loss to buy Bitcoin to be safe during a bear market? Ra, you're a little bit behind the curve with that. Most people would have done it already, but doing it now while things are recovering, I don't know if you have noticed that some of the ones that are down the most are recovering the fastest. So to flip now, you may be doing yourself a disservice. Now, if you don't have enough Bitcoin, well, maybe then you should. But if you have a good amount of Bitcoin, like say 50% in Bitcoin, and you have the rest riding in alts, a lot of them will come up, especially during a recovery, right? So just keep that in mind. But you do what's best for you. Do I still in DCA and ETH and Sol? I do. Why is Chile's up in this down market by 16%? Any news today? No. Not that I know of. Sometimes things are just up. Sometimes they're just oversold. Sometimes they go on a good run. Sometimes there's pump groups that pump them. There's not always a reason. Pat May, I heard your voice on a walkthrough video on changing a battery into a Honda key fob. Yeah, that's me. I have more than one channel. I have drivers only, which is my car channel, this channel. the Clips channel, which is basically like a short segment videos on my live streams. And then I started the I Am George channel, which is a, you know, like a vlog of my life, giving you thoughts and stuff that's going on behind the scenes. And I have the new Reacts channel, which is something totally new, has really nothing to do with crypto, right? But I will give that a shot. So yeah, I have multiple channels. My Honda key fob video is my most popular video on drivers only. A lot of people ignore those key fob videos, but once they catch, they just stay viral forever because people are always searching for them. So my Honda one is actually, I think, my best performing video, like 1.5 million views. And it keeps going. You should do a toy or Lego channel. I actually do have a Lego channel, but I gave up on it because I don't have time to build Legos anymore. So, and not only that, I don't have room for it. My Lego room has pretty much been stagnant for years because I have no room and basically no time for building Legos. What does 90% issuance, 90% decrease in issuance mean? It means that right now, I think there's about, I forgot what the exact number is, like 1,000 or something ETH that's being distributed to the miners per day. And that's going to be cut by 90% when they move to proof of stake, which is very significant. I don't know if it's 1,000. I think it's maybe around 2,000 ETH per day, but it's going to be cut to like 100 or 150, something like that. It's going to be very, very decrease, or yeah, it's going to be significantly less. So a lot of people view that as a very bullish thing. What do you think about the IS300 from 07? That's actually one of my very first videos, Steven, that I put up on drivers only. It's actually a pretty decent car. It's not bad. It's just a little bit small. Julio says, yeah, I am building a house right now. It's a little scary, especially right now. Hopefully by the time it's done, you know, mortgage rates are not going to be like 20%. But it hasn't started yet. But once the process starts, the house starts, you know, they start digging the ground and start building it out. I'll keep track of it and do a whole like series of videos on it. I think it'll be pretty cool. Ryan's World, man, Ryan's World, I don't know. I've never been big into Ryan, but he's just like, his family is too damn rich. And they have their toys everywhere. They have 1 million channels, right? So good for them. I mean, they're just like killing it. But, you know, as Ryan gets older and older and older, he can't keep pretending like he's like a 6-year-old because he's not a 6-year-old, right? So that's one of the things. I think there's a lot of pressure on the kid to kind of keep performing and have enthusiasm and still act like a kid. As he starts turning older into a teenager, they have to transition the type of videos he does, right? But I guess he has a brother or something like that, younger brothers. They can always move it to the younger brother. But I'm pretty sure they're okay. If you had 5K and you could choose only these two, Solana or ADA, which one you recommend? I would go with both. They're both good. One is very fast, but has prone to network outages, and another one is not done and slow, but never has an outage, right? So you're kind of choosing the polar opposites of each other. And both sides will attack each other, but they both have their own pluses and minuses, and I think both of them are great projects to hold on to for the future. So that's why. That's why. Do you think ADA could do 10x in the next bull run? Yeah, it can. It did a 10x already before. Well, no, not 10x, but Cardano was up to like almost $4, and now they're barely at 50 cents, right? So can they do a 10x to $5? Sure, considering they were at like $4 already. $1.3 billion Matic invested today. Don't spread that fun, man. It went from one wallet to another. It did not hit the open market. So that is why Polygon did not dump, and Polygon is doing fine. It's just the teams, the foundations, and they're putting into another wallet to be vested. How much time does it take to prepare a stream? Hours upon hours. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's like probably overall like an hour. Yeah, around there. But keep in mind it's because I'm really... I could get things going really quickly. I know how to make things like make a crafty title, make a thumbnail relatively quick. I could put things together relatively quick. I can chain them together really quick. I kind of know what to say, obviously, right? But for someone newer, I would say it takes probably double the time, at least 2 hours plus. Zia, thank you. You could work for Fox News. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but okay, I'll take that as a compliment. What do you think about Yearn? I don't really care much for it. It got hacked way too many times before, like 3 or 4 times. And I'm not into yield farming, so not into the project. What was your favorite basketball team as a kid? Jordan fan. I mean, I think almost everyone grew up as a Jordan fan, a Bulls fan. But as I got older, I really liked Shaq. Followed Shaq from Orlando all the way to the Lakers, right? Yeah. All right, guys. I'll let you go. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Today was kind of a little bit of a down day, right? But overall, the entire market is still holding strong. Unfortunately, tonight we have another attack, another hack, and we'll see. I'm sure we'll get more details tomorrow or this coming week about who actually hacked them. I'm guessing it's the North Koreans. It's always the North Koreans. And they're just making hundreds of millions of dollars left and right now. I mean, these projects really need to start auditing their smart contracts, putting safeguards in place, right? You know, we're not talking about small amounts of money. We're talking about hundreds of millions, right? So unfortunately, another big hack. Hopefully none of you guys suffered. But overall, there's great things happening in this space. It's early. There's still stuff like this happening, but we will get through it. There's tons of projects out there that are still working, cranking away, forming new partnerships, and still moving forward. And that is why we are in this space, because it's still so early. All right, guys, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Last few questions. Definitely can see ETH flipping BTC. Anything can happen. Yeah, exactly. ISO 20022 coins. I'm actually not familiar with which ones are actually ISO compliant. So maybe in the future. But if you guys want more, make sure you go check out my new studio video on I Am George. And also check out the George Reacts on the Tiffany NFT. Plus, I'll release a Will Smith one pretty soon. I think you guys will get a kick out of that one. That's actually a pretty good video, so look forward to that. All right, guys, have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.